Here's some more examples of what you can do with composite functions. Let's say we want to find, now we've got three functions here. F of x is 2x plus 3, g of x is x squared plus 1, h of x is x minus 4. So we've got all these, we can do all kinds of things with these things. Remember, we can add them, we can subtract them, we can multiply and divide them. There's all kinds of combinations we can do. So let's say we wanted to find a composite, and we could call this, sometimes you see it like this, I'll say G F of H of X, all right? So that's a function of a function of a function. If we wrote this out in a little bit more meaningful way, we could write it like this. This is my outside function, my outsidemost function, G of F of H of X. That's the inside function. So we just have to work our way outside. Now this is all in terms of x, so we can keep it in terms of x, but we might have a number too. We'll see if we can see an example of the number. Okay, so first of all, what's h of x? So you just kind of start substituting in. So this would be equal to g of f of h of x. Now what's h of x? Well, h of x is x minus 4, so instead of writing h of x, we'll write x minus 4. All right? Now, what's f of x minus 4? Well, f says 2 times something plus 3. So f says 2 times something plus 3. That's the f function rule. And what is that something? That something is x minus 4, so that goes right here. So now we simplify that. We have 2x, so that's the same thing. I guess I can do it over here. Save a little bit of room. So that's going to be 2x minus 4, 2x minus 8, plus 3. All right? And we can simplify this, so this is going to equal g of, and 2x and negative 2x, and negative 8 plus 3 is minus 5. Well, what's the g rule say? That says x squared plus 1, so now I can interpret that. That's going to be something squared plus 1. All right? But what's that something squared? That's something, what's inside here? That's going to be 2x minus 5. And that's going to equal, now what's 2x minus 5 squared? Well, you could FOIL it out. It's not that squared minus that squared. Please don't do that. It really means, and sometimes we say when in doubt, write it out. We can go over here and say this is going to be 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5. And if we use our FOIL process, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And then we've got negative 5 times 2 is negative 10x, and another negative 5 times 2 is negative 10x. Negative times negative is positive 25. And we just have twice the product. In other words, 2 times 5 is 10, twice 10 is 20. That's what this simplifies to be. 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. So if you remember how to square your binomials, you know it's just the first term squared, this sign, twice the product. 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 10 is 20. and then plus the second term squared. So that ends up being 4x squared minus 20x plus 25, and then plus 1, and that ends up being 4x squared minus 20x, and then 25 plus 1 is 26. So there you go, that's step by step. Now we could put a number in there, it would be probably a little bit easier. So let's just try a number just while we're at it. We'll do the same thing. We could do a different combination, but we'll just do the same one right now. G of f of h, and just put a number in here. Let's say 2. And we would write it out again in a little meaningful notation, a little more meaningful notation. G of f of h of 2. Okay? And we would work our way in from the inside out. What's h of 2? So what's h of 2? So look at the h function, and if we put 2 in there, 2 minus 4 is negative 2, so that's just going to be negative 2. Okay, what's f of negative 2? And if I put negative 2 in here, what's 2 times negative 2? That's negative 4. Negative 4 plus 1 is, I'm sorry, negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. All right? And you can work it out over here if you wanted to do that. So if we put negative 2 in here, f of negative 2 is going to equal negative 4 plus 3. And that just equals negative 1. So that's just going to be negative 1. Okay? I just kind of worked it over here. The h was a little bit easier. If I just put 2 in here, 2 minus 2 is negative 2. So we could have worked out in those steps also. Okay, what's g of negative 1? Well, g of negative 1 is just, the g function says something squared plus 1. So g of negative 1 will be negative 1 squared plus 1. But negative 1 squared is just 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. So I got 1 plus 1. So it ends up equaling 2. So g of f of h of 2 ends up equaling 2. Well, that's interesting. Came back itself. Okay? So there's a couple of examples. One using the x and one using a number. You should be able to do both. All right? And hopefully that makes sense. And what you should do is you should take a look at these again and just go back at the beginning and start at the very beginning, see if you can find this, and then freeze it and see if you can do all the work and get the same answer. To kind of practice. All right? That's one way to make sure you understand what's going on.